Well, hi. How you doing? It's your old pal Skippy. Hi. All right, made it through my food poisoning. How nice. That was great. I don't want to talk too much about it. Let's get on with our lives, shall we? But it was gruesome. I'm glad I survived. Thanks for being there. Anyway, I took a picture of my wall today for Instagram. If you're not on my Instagram, it's One Man Sausage Party Instagram. But I took a picture and it had 3 albums that were signed by KRS-One, a signed headshot of Mitch Hedberg, and then there was a picture of this gentleman by the name of Robert William Abbrevaya. Now, I was a huge fan of Robert William Abbrevaya, and a lot of you are scratching your heads right now going, who the hell is Robert William Abbrevaya? Well, Robert William Abbrevaya was a gentleman who used to do stand-up comedy at the Comedy Store. He would close out, or at least when I was working there, he would close out the potluck open mic nights. He would be the last performer, aka headliner. All right. He would be the last performer after every potluck. And he had been doing it for probably like 20 some years by the time I got there. And what's neat about Robert is he had schizophrenia. Now, schizophrenia is kind of a neat condition where the world doesn't make sense to you, so you build one around you that does. And Robert, from what I gather, I don't know how much of this is true. From what I gather, when Robert was in college, he was the captain of his collegiate basketball team. He also was studying to be a lawyer, and he worked at a Woolworths as a manager. What happened was, apparently, Robert started smoking marijuana and then started hearing voices and then made marijuana his life. I have seen Robert inhale an entire joint in one breath. And what was even more amazing is I've never seen a lick of smoke come out of this gentleman. He loved marijuana. He would dress in a green suit with a blue shirt underneath that was stuffed with plastic supermarket bags. He would wear a plastic supermarket bag on his head. And the reason why he did this, as he said, was for insulation. He wouldn't wear like a tassel cap or anything because he felt the elastic was compressing his head. And you would hear him rustling around like a big pile of autumn leaves, adjusting his plastic bags in his shirt. And yeah, he was crazy, but he was no crazier than the rest of us that were at the Comedy Store. But he, I'm not certain, but I think the movie The King of Comedy may have been made about Robert because it kind of parallels a little bit. I don't know if you've seen that movie, but if you haven't, it's about this guy who I think he wants to be on TV, so he watches a bunch of TV shows thinking he's going to get on TV. Starts pretending he's on the TV show. I'm not sure. I haven't seen it in a long time, but all I know is Robert attended over 200 tapings of The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. And because of his schizophrenia, he felt that since he attended over 200 tapings, that when Johnny stepped down, that he was in line to take over The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. So when Jay Leno took over The Tonight Show, that's when the Nazi voodoo conspiracy started. That's when Robert stopped calling Jay Leno and started calling him Lemon Jello because he refused to use his name. So there was the Nazi voodoo conspiracy that was built around this whole thing, this whole misunderstanding that Robert won't be hosting The Tonight Show, but that's life. Don't feel bad I didn't get to either, Robert, but I attended probably over a few hundred tapings of Robert, not even tapings, just watching him do it live. His Robert William Abbrevaya show at the Comedy Store, because I hosted the open mic at the Comedy Store for like 5 years, Sunday and Monday, and he would come up both nights, and we would have fun with it, okay? Because here's the thing, all right? Like I said, Robert's been around forever. From what I gather, Sam Kinison used to yell at him and call him the devil and try to chase him off stage and stuff and threw chairs at him. Now, one of the first times I ever saw Robert William Abbrevaya, I saw my buddy Brian Holtzman yelling at Robert while he was on stage, and then he went up, picked up a chair, and just threw it on stage right next to him, not trying to hit him or anything. And it was, Robert would do this thing called, "Oh, security, please, security, security, there are Nazis in the room, there are Nazis in the room." But Robert had this thing, okay? Robert had this thing that he did, okay? I'm not sure the whole, like, hold on. Okay, hold on. This meant, I think this meant there's a Nazi in the room. This meant there's more than one Nazi in the room. This meant there's a bunch of Nazis in the room. But needless to say, he had like his own little like hand signals. And he was just, he was funny. But we were all a part of the Nazi voodoo conspiracy. Apparently we all worked for Jay Leno. I apparently was sent there every week by Jay Leno to steal one of the green buttons on his green suit that he wore every week. And I never, one, stole a button from him, or two, was offered $1,000 by Jay Leno. I met Jay Leno too. Really nice guy. I met him a couple times. Really tall. Wears a lot of denim. But anyway, Robert was just, he was great. He was great. You know, I give anybody credit for just getting up there and doing stand-up, but this guy did it forever. And, you know, it just never went anywhere with it. But Mitzi would give him $20 or $25 or something like that, just being nice, because, you know, he's a little on the kooky side. But I used to get on the piano mic in the original room, which was, if you're on stage, it's stage left. It's over in the corner. And I would get on the piano mic and I would start reciting Robert's act as he's saying it on stage. From the conscious creation capital of the world, Los Angeles, California, it's a Robert William Abbrevaya show starring Robert William Abbrevaya. And I would do his entire act with him verbatim, and then chaos would ensue. Because there would be a cadre of other Nazi voodoo conspiracists in the audience, like Steve Renazzisi and Ari Shaffir, Rick Ingram, and we would have fun with it. Somebody brought in a laser pointer one time. Somebody brought in a laser pointer, and he thought it was real. Okay? And they pointed it at his ding-ding, at his penis. And he thought it was burning off his junk, right? So he would cover it with his hands, and then somebody would shine it on his forehead, and then he'd cover it with his hand, and then somebody would shine it on his hand, and he'd cover it. And then what he would do is he would bring this thing called a First Amendment shield, which was a while back on the streets here in Los Angeles. They used to give out these these little boxes for these things called the LA Express, which was technically like a hooker catalog. It had all these like phone sex and escort service numbers, and they were just, everywhere around town. So Robert would have one of these with him, and he would use the shield to block his eyes, and he'd use it to block his junk. And I remember, oh my God, there was this one Christmas, I got a Santa suit, all right? I was asked to play Bad Santa. I got a job through one of the comedians at the Comedy Store to play a Bad Santa at a Christmas party. I did an amazing job, and I got paid extra, and I got drunk, and I had sex with 2 girls while in a Santa suit at the same time. Whoa, boy, that was good times. But, so I had this Santa suit, and I was up at the Comedy Store for Christmas, and I came up to the stage dressed as Santa, and I was like, come on, it's Christmas, Robert, give me a hug, come on, give me a hug. And then what he would do is he would take the microphone and remove the cord from it, all right? So it's no longer playing on the speaker system, and he would do his act as if the microphone was still working. And while he was doing this, he was leaving the room, and I was still in my Santa suit. I was like, come on, give me a hug, Robert, give me a hug. And he ended up walking down the center of Sunset Boulevard with me behind him going, give me a hug. And then after a while, I got scared because I was worried he was going to wander off into traffic. So I ended up getting around him and getting him back to the Comedy Store safely. But that was a memorable freaking night. Oh my God, that was so funny. But Robert was, he was just a unique character. There's a video of him. I want to figure out how to do like those things where I can like put a box in the bottom of this screen or something like right here, and we can watch a video together or something. I'm still learning how to use this technology. I mean, like I got this video camera from Dave & Buster's and this lights from Dave & Buster's. So yeah, I'm professional, okay? Anyway, I just wanted to talk about my old pal, Robert William Abbrevaya, and how I miss him. I'm just sad he's not here anymore. I was very fortunate that I went to the Comedy Store and I got to see him perform one last time. And I restrained myself from acting up. I wanted to just see him perform. He's a good dude, you know. Not every one of us are dealt a good hand in life, and Robert, you're great. All right. Anyway, all right, we'll talk about Robert again, I'm sure. You kids have a good night. Stay awesome, and bye.